Luigi, welcome to Sudeep Audio's channel.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's a pleasure and an honor to have you with us again. And thank you for believing in our software called Rebeat, which you're using to release your albums worldwide. And thanks for using it and believing in.
I have to thank you actually for putting us out into the world
Thank you so much.
of music. Really.
There's a lot of information on Wikipedia about your childhood. I mean, in depth.
Yeah.
I mean, things that I
Not all of them true,
right.
but
okay. Like I just read is Bakhat Bahadur Buddha grandfather.
my Bakat Bir, yeah.
Yeah, your grandfather
Yeah.
composed the national anthem for Nepal.
Yeah, that's right.
And you have, in a way, made an unofficial Indian anthem called Mile Sur Mera Tumhara. So,
Yeah.
I mean, music is in your family, as it's said.
6 generations.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure there's much more information out there, but if you could share with us, because people don't read these days, so if from your childhood experiences, if you could tell us how you became a musician, what inspired you in your childhood days, what was the turning point when you decided, yes, this is what I want to do?
Yeah. I know. Well, as a family, we go down 6 generations of music, actually. But it all happened in Nepal. Yeah. And most of it I'm not aware of, really. What came to me was when my father brought all of us to India. That was his turning point, actually. Yeah, that he came out of Nepal because he wanted to see the rest of the world, what was happening all over. He was a very talented musician, I mean, extremely talented. A virtuoso of the trumpet.
Okay.
Yeah. So he decided to explore and, take his talent to the rest of the world. So he came to Calcutta, and that's where we were born.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was so talented that at that time, this was during the 30s and 40s and 50s, Calcutta was like throbbing with music from all across the world. Yeah. There were foreign bands, I believe. Dad told me, all these stories. That there were foreign bands from all over the world playing in restaurants, in nightclubs, and hotels, and all that. And this particular band that came from America, led by a black pianist, Teddy Weatherford. Yeah, he was considered to be one of the 10 best pianists of the world, jazz pianists of the world. He brought his 13-piece orchestra to Calcutta, I believe. And my dad auditioned and got the trumpet chair in that band. So that was quite an achievement, I should think, yeah. So that brought him to the world of jazz, really, and he learned a lot about jazz, being inspired by Teddy Weatherford. And at the same time, he got interested in playing piano. So I believe Teddy Weatherford helped him along and gave him some lessons in piano playing and all that. So he developed a thing for piano also. But trumpet was his main instrument. And when I was born, he named me Louis after Louis Armstrong. Yeah, because he wanted me to be like Louis Armstrong. So that was my first instrument, actually. The trumpet was my first instrument that I learned. Yeah, I played a bit of guitar also. And then Dad wanted me to get into piano in a serious mode. And so I started learning classical piano. And Dad, being a music teacher, he knew Trinity College of Music courses like backwards. So I went through all the courses with my dad only.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was the extent of my classical training, actually, going through the grades of Trinity Music. And all that happened, so I gained a little facility on the piano. I was practicing trumpet as well. And uh, I think around the age of 13, Dad asked me to sit in with his band in Darjeeling. By the time we had already moved to Darjeeling, Dad had already moved to Darjeeling.
Okay.
And Dad had a band over there in one of the British clubs. Absolutely, yeah, British. And he thought I was competent, or he wanted me to gain that experience of professional playing. So at the early age of 13, I started playing with the band and reading charts that was imported from London for that club. You know, it was like, yeah, dance music, dance band arrangements, and all that. And so that's the kind of training I had, which I'm really grateful and thankful for, because I mean, how many kids get that kind of training? Yeah, I mean, nobody will take a kid into a band, yeah, and ask him to play, sit in with the pros.
Yeah.
But I got that, and that I'm really thankful for that, and helped me develop my skills. So in my teens only, I was playing piano and trumpet with my dad at the club, and developing an ear for Western music, dance music, and a bit of jazz of that era. And to cut a long story short, I mean, one fine day, that could be the turning point in my life, Dad sort of brought a recording of a jazz pianist he wanted me to hear. And I heard that pianist, and oh God, it just blew my mind. I told Dad, I said, I want to play piano like this.
Okay.
The pianist was Oscar Peterson. Yeah. And from then on, I started listening to all of Oscar Peterson's recordings, trying to copy his solos as much as I could. Yeah. And that's the point where my love of jazz started, really. And as you know, it hasn't stopped. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really fascinated by this music, and it's the most stimulating music that I've ever played. Yeah. I played everything actually, but jazz stands right at the top. Yeah. There's nothing like it. So that was my story in Darjeeling, because music was just a part, a small part. Rest was school, college, and everything. And I ended up being a teacher also. Started teaching and things like that. And by the time Dad had moved to Nepal,
Okay.
and so during the winter months, I used to go to Nepal because Darjeeling school closes during the winter months. And Dad had a band in Nepal also, in one of the restaurants, Park restaurant, I think. And then of course, Dad said, "Come and sit in with the band." So I used to go and sit in with the band, play trumpet and piano. Dad and me, because both of us used to play trumpet and piano, we used to exchange. Like he played trumpet, I played piano. When he played piano, I played trumpet.
Okay.
So it was a good arrangement actually.
A duo
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah. So Oscar Peterson, first turning point, second turning point. That one fine day. These things have happened in my life quite often actually, 3-4 times actually. Things that I call them actually guardian angels, unknown people that just come into your life, and then change your life. Out of the blue. It's amazing, yeah. Great believer in that, because it's happened to me. And so the gentleman comes into the restaurant and sits down and listens to us. Then after we take a break, then he calls me over and he says, makes a proposition. I like your playing, and I'm a general manager in a hotel here. It was called the Salty Hotel at that time. And I'm looking for a band, and I think you're capable of leading a band. And I'll get you the best musicians you sing from Calcutta. So I was quite excited actually. I told my dad, and that's it. If you really want to now get into music full time, I said yes.
Okay.
I think it's my calling now that I should do music full time because that's where I belong. I told him, I mean, thanks for the proposition and invitation, but I have to get back to Darjeeling because I'm working over there as a teacher and all that. Oh, that. He was quite a straightforward guy. He's saying, teacher, huh? Okay, how much do you earn? So I told him, he said, I'm going to double your salary and I'm going to give you a house to stay in also. So that sounded good, actually. I told my dad, and I said, go for it. So I came back to Darjeeling, resigned, went back. By the time he had already got 3 musicians. He had 3 musicians from Calcutta.
Okay.
A drummer, bass player, and a saxophone player. They're very good. Yeah, they were all like crazy over jazz, like me. It was perfect. So then my really jazz development started from that moment actually. Yeah, because I was on my own leading a band. So I had to write stuff for the band, and that's where it started, yeah. And in Nepal, there was nothing else to do. You just played your night in the night, and then there was the lunchtime session also.
Okay.
And besides, there was nothing else to do, so we practiced a lot in Nepal, yeah, with the band. So that was really good. And
At that point, we didn't have any of these, easily available or accessible, albums of others. And one couldn't find stores so easily.
No, not at all.
So how did you manage to listen to these different?
You know something? Voice of America, Willis Conover, radio.
Okay.
That was one of the
Okay.
sources of music for us.
Right.
Really, yeah.
Played a lot of variety of music and.
Yeah, it was a terrific program, and this compare was just too good. Willis Conover.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, that was a great introduction to jazz for us. Really.
So the kind of music that you played at the restaurants in Nepal with this band from Calcutta, was that covers or was it your own music? Or?
I don't know, from that early stage only, I was never into covers,
Okay.
because I would take the melodies but do it my own way. It's always been like that right from beginning, and it's there till now also.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like to make a carbon copy of
Okay.
the thing,
Mhm.
and some people accept it, some don't. Some wanted a carbon copy of the original.
Right.
Yeah. But I always change it around to suit my own, taste and thing in music. So we used to play, of course, dance-related music, foxtrot, waltz, tangos, cha-cha-chas, and those kind of stuff for people to dance to.
Right.
Yeah. So I used to write all that kind of music for the band, and that was the time I started composing also. Yeah, started writing my own stuff. Yeah, and that flair of composing developed from that moment actually, when I had the band. And during the afternoon sessions, the music had to be very soft and more classically oriented. So, with my love for jazz, I even converted Chopin and Mozart into jazz pieces. I took some of their nocturnes and etudes and all that, and changed it around and to make it a nice swing jazz tune,
Right.
softly. So much so that one time the manager came and told me, Louis, we can't understand. The people can't understand what you're playing. that time it was but it went off quite well, yeah, with the band, and that carried on, and we were quite popular. We had a good band, and during the Christmas season and New Year season, they used to get a lot of bands and cabaret acts and singers and all that from Calcutta
Okay.
to come over there and entertain. So that was another turning point for me. When that started happening, I got friendly with these guys and they heard me play and all that. And they said, "You're good, you're very good, but there are 10 more pianists in Calcutta that are better than you."
Oh,
One of the singers told me.
okay.
So I sort of kept that in mind, and that's it. I mean, that means like I must go and hear them. I must go to Calcutta and hear them. But I mean, of course, I was working in Nepal. But somebody must have heard me, and then I got a call from Calcutta.
Okay.
So this owner of Hindustan Hotel, Mr. Jaiswal, called me, and he said, "I heard about you and all that, and I have a band over here, but I have no leader. So we need a leader, and I'm going to offer you this job here." So it sounded good, sounded very good, and just what I was thinking of, like, how do I get to Calcutta? Hear those pianists,
Oh, yes.
and
That was
see.
the objective.
Yeah, like it was a challenge for me. Yeah.
Right.
So this opportunity came, so that was another turning point for me. So I came to Calcutta, and there was a six-piece band waiting for me. Yeah, quite a good band actually. Some nice musicians, and so I
What
started.
year was this, if you could know? What year was
This is like almost 70s, huh?
17.
Almost, yeah.
So by then we did have a group of, I mean, musicians in Calcutta, Nepal, etc., who were serious musicians. I mean, they were
Oh
very
yeah.
good musicians also. I mean, that time. So they of international caliber also. I mean, the other
Close. I mean, you cannot say they are at par with that. Yeah. But they were getting there, and some of them were very, very serious about what they were doing. Yeah.
very well trained and
Yeah.
as
And the
bands
thing
in.
is, to play jazz, of course, you have to be passionate about it, really. Yeah. And then just work hard. And half of it is just listening and emulating the great players. Yeah. So there were boys like that who were into that, especially one bass player I remember, oh God, Peter Saldana. He's an amazing guy. Yeah, so dedicated, so hardworking, and developed a tremendous technique, almost at par with foreign bass players. Yeah. So there were guys like that. And to my luck, I managed to get these guys, and I wanted these guys in my band. Guys who are passionate about jazz. So I ended up having a bunch of guys who was, I think, among the best musicians in Calcutta at that time. And guitar player Carlton Kitto, I mean, he's one of the finest really in the country, even today. People like that, Johnny Edmonds on drums, Peter Saldana on bass, they were all, yeah, highly skilled musicians and totally dedicated to jazz. Just what I wanted. And so that's where I came to Calcutta, started leading this band, and did that for a couple of years actually. And then I moved to another restaurant, and that's where the Louiz Banks Brotherhood was born.
Okay.
And started making a name, yeah, in Calcutta. People started.
So you were the reason people used to flock to the hotel for.
Yeah,
We don't know
we
about the
were
meal,
very
but
popular at that time. God, we used to pack the place every night. The band was too good. Great bunch of guys, and then leading them right up front at the mic was Pam Crane and Don Seigel. So, like, we're doing all the popular stuff, in our own way, but swinging it, and we were very popular.
Did the restaurant have a dance floor
Yeah,
kind
the
of?
restaurant had a dance floor.
So
Yeah,
people
he
used
was
to come
dancing.
and.
Yeah,
Wow. It's not something we see these days, but I mean, this kind of a
I know. Correct.
culture.
Yeah, the people were really into dancing. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I used to play pop. I used to convert pop tunes with jazz inflections and all that, where we could take solos in the pop tunes. So, so we got our thrill also playing jazz in a pop context, and people used to dance also because they would recognize the tune.
okay.
It sounded different, but they didn't care. Yeah, and with these good singers, Pam Crane, of course, absolute jazz diva. Yeah, I think there's nobody like her, really. And with them, the band really cooked. So that started happening in Blue Frog, and I started getting popular there, and
Not
people
blue. Was it
recognize.
called Blue Frog or
Oh no, Blue Fox.
Blue Fox? Okay.
Blue Fox, not Blue Frog. Yeah,
Right.
Blue Fox restaurant
Right.
became a very popular place, and we as a band became very popular. And my skills as a jazz pianist was also growing day by day. And after some time, I don't know, somebody wrote in a paper that, oh, there's a boy come from Nepal,
Mm.
and I think he's the best pianist around. Somebody wrote that. Oh God. Other pianists must have cursed me. But so they started recognizing my skills as a pianist. So much so that Bombay heard about me and called me to play at some jazz dues that they were happening. I think one singer from Norway, Karin Krog, had come to Bombay, and they needed a pianist to accompany her. So they called me from Calcutta.
Okay.
So these opportunities came, and uh, so I was growing as a pianist, really. And
Did you end up meeting those 10 who you wanted to meet in Calcutta?
no, I met some of them. Some
you
of them
did?
were very good,
They
very
were.
good players. Yeah,
Okay.
Benny Rosario, and who was there? Yeah, all very good piano players. Yeah.
But was there brotherhood between musicians in terms of, like
Yes, there
exchanging
was.
notes
There was. There
or
was.
going to each
Yeah.
other's shows or concerts
Yes. See, there was when I was playing in Blue Fox
or?
at Hindustan Hotel where I used to play first.
Yes.
I came there. Braz Gonzalez with his band was employed over there. Yeah. And Braz had heard about me, so he used to come to Blue Fox to hear me. Then I would go to Hindustan Hotel to hear him.
Right.
And whenever I went there, he would ask me to sit in. Same, I would ask him to sit in. So it was nice, yeah. Till he quit Hindustan Hotel and joined me,
Okay.
Braz Gonzalez. Yeah. From that time, actually, when I had him in the band, because he was such an exceptional saxophone player, the best in the country, really. I think he was, one of the first saxophone players that was at par with world standards. Yeah, absolutely. Very much influenced by Coltrane. He came from the Coltrane School of Music. And terrific player. I just loved his playing, and I was so happy to have him in the band. So with him and Pam Crane and Don Seigel and Carlton Kitto, I had a really great band to work with. Really enjoyed that period. And so that continued, and I was growing as a jazz pianist, a composer. Still one fine day, another turning point came into my life. Another guardian angel from somewhere. And this time it was R.D. Burman. Yeah, and he came into the restaurant and heard me. He liked what I was doing. He liked my playing, actually. And spoke with him, and he made a proposition for me to come and play in one of his films
Okay.
where he needed a piano player. Yeah. So, of course, I told him that I don't know anything about film music. And he said, not to worry, just come and play piano. So, so I accepted and I came to Bombay at that time.
Was this only for the recording or?
Only for the recording.
Okay.
Only for the recording, yeah. I took leave and then came for a week. Yeah, and did that film with him. It was quite an experience. Yeah, very different experience. But I got the opportunity of playing piano the way I like to play.
Okay.
It wasn't jazz per se, but it was very pianistic music. So I improvised a lot and co-composed many of the tunes with him. Yeah, at that time because it was piano based. Yeah,
Do you remember
and
the
he
name?
gave me a kind of a free hand
Oh.
to play in big introductions and interludes and things like that. Because the film demanded that from the hero of the film,
Oh.
who used to sit at the piano and play. So he wanted all these frills and arpeggios and stuff like that, pianistic things. So it was quite interesting. And after that was over, he invited me. He asked me actually to stay back.
Do you remember the name of the movie and the song?
Yeah,
Oh.
Mukti. The name of the movie was Mukti. Yeah, Shashi Kapoor was the
Do you remember the song?
songs. Oh God,
Okay. No.
the names of the songs. No.
Okay.
Yeah, but it became very popular actually. Yeah,
Did you enjoy that environment in the recording studio because it would have been your
it
first
was great.
experience?
It was fantastic. Seeing about 100 musicians in a violin section of 50 violin players. I mean, it was amazing. It's quite amazing. Yeah.
Right.
And my first experience with R.D. Burman was, I mean, I quite liked it actually, and I was quite amazed at what he was doing and what he was creating within that orchestra. It was quite interesting.
So he asked you to stay back.
Yeah. And then I said I thanked him for the offer, but I said I can't stay back because I've got a band in Calcutta. I've got to get back there fast now. Yeah, they are without their leader. And so he said, if you ever think of it, yeah, let me know. So with that, I came back to Calcutta. Yeah, resumed my work. And what happened was the scene was changing in Calcutta.
Okay.
And it was sort of going from bad to worse in terms of nightclub entertainment because there was a big power shortage in Calcutta. Big. I mean, they shut off the power totally in the night
Oh. Okay.
for 3-4 hours. And just at the time we had to play music and entertain. So we couldn't play. So the business looked very shaky. Yeah. And so before it became like absolutely worse and we were on the verge of losing our jobs, I said it's a sign from heaven for me to move on. Yeah. And I said the best thing is go to Bombay, take up R.D. Burman's offer.
Right.
Yeah. So at that time I had already purchased a electric piano, the Rhodes.
Okay.
The first Rhodes in the country, I think. And a suitcase model Rhodes. 2 big boxes. With those 2 big boxes, I came on the train to Bombay. 2nd class. I remember that journey. Oh God. People are saying, what are these 2 big boxes? The long benches are there and there's a space in between. I put those 2 right in front, inconveniencing everybody actually.
Okay.
But there was no way I could put that piano anywhere. So apologized to them and all that. And I said, this is a musical instrument. I said, you can put your legs on top of it.
No.
It's okay. So like that, I came to Bombay. And the next day only, I called R.D. Burman and he asked me to come over. And I said, is your offer still open? He said, you can join me from tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, so
What year was this?
this was 1979.
Okay.
Yeah, 1979. Yeah.